You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where we believe your relationship can be better than ever after having a baby. But it does take tools, insights, and support to help you get there. I'm Chelsea. Join me and my husband, Mike, as we have honest conversations, provide valuable tips you can apply today, and root for you to have your best relationship ever. It's not only good for you and your family, it's good for the whole world around us. Now let's get into today's episode.
Just sometimes there's just some concern there that I think comes from an ancient instinct that is unfounded and puts you through unnecessary stress.
Okay, and what I heard you say that we actually have just talked about recently was I'm actually wasting your time by saying and making you think about these things that are so far-fetched.
Yeah.
And I'm picking up on the idea that that might be annoying.
True. That was not what I was trying to focus on. But that is not inaccurate.
It just really blew my mind when you told me recently that my worry habits and that anxious tendency of my thoughts that I know often happen because I think if I worry about it enough, it won't happen, or I have some level of control. Like, that is wasting a lot of my energy.
Yeah.
And I came to realize that, but it was, then you told me I'm also wasting your time and energy. And I'm like, wow.
How'd that make you feel?
Well, good question. At first, I think I felt a little shameful or like embarrassed.
Okay.
Like, oh, my silly tendencies are wasting your time.
Okay.
But then I also, from that, found this kind of like relief of I'm not saving you. I'm not saving our kids. I'm not changing the future at all with my worry. I'm actually potentially causing harm and wasting your precious life and time and energy with silly concoctions in my brain when my anxious tendencies are leading the charge.
I love you.
That's good.
And this is good. I mean, all relationships have this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, healthy ones.
Yeah.
Right? Like self-discovery and growth.
And discomfort.
Yeah, that's part of growing, isn't it?
Yeah. The nervous system talk we've been working on for a couple of events. Today, as we were practicing, you said something about micro tears in exercise, right? Like, we are encouraged to push past comfort a little bit and have these little micro tears because they grow back stronger.
Yeah.
And how relationships without tension aren't necessarily better.
Right.
It's those that can undergo tension and repair.
Yeah. That become stronger, develop more probably capacity.
Yeah.
It is good. It's a cycle of rupture and repair.
Yeah.
And I actually heard that from somebody that was referencing family systems. And okay, so I'm actually going to look this up. So in a minute, I'm not going to do it right this second. Because what else were we saying right before then? Because that's what we were really talking about.
Rupture and repair.
Oh yeah, rupture and repair. Yeah, so the exercise thing is like, that is how you get stronger, how your muscles, usually they also get bigger. And when we undergo stress on our nervous system, it is the same thing. Like they did those studies on rats.
They did.
But then they also had studies on humans.
Okay, but what happened in the rat study? Go ahead, share.
The baby rats were exposed to stress, and then they separated them from the mom and the others, they reunited. So like half were, left alone to regulate on their own, and the others were brought to the mama rat. And the ones that were reunited with mom, who was able to calm them, they developed lifelong resilience, whereas the others did not. The others were not confident.
Were there any rats, do you know, that were not subjected to the stress?
I don't know, but we could look up that study.
Yeah.
See what they did.
I just wonder if there is any track of.
Yeah, so that's actually, I'm glad that you said that, because I think sometimes we think, oh, this really makes my nervous system dysregulated, like this thing or what, and that might not be bad, right? It may not be bad to undergo the stress that, now I wouldn't say every case, but I think, it's kind of like working out. Like you want the weight heavy enough that it's difficult, but not so heavy that it crushes you. And so I think that's the same thing. We want a life that is difficult enough for our nervous system, but not so much that it would crush us, like nervous or mental breakdown or any of the, that's how I'm picturing that. But being able to experience stress and then repair develops resilience, like the field of psychology. When they use the term resilience, they have actual metrics for that. I know Brene Brown did some stuff around metrics on resilience and other like positive emotions. And so they have some way of measuring resilience, and it was like not only the rats, but I think it's Porges or Hardy or one of those people we were talking about, neuroscientists or someone, but it was the same. There were studies that when people were exposed to stress and had the chance to regulate, co-regulate, come back to that place of safety, come back to themselves, like that feeling at home within your own body. When they were able to do that afterwards, that changed them. That made them more resilient. To me, it's like almost a mirror image. It's like just like lifting weights. It's the stress. It can't be too much, but then you also have to have rest and repair and rebuild. Right. So.
And that's probably the part most people miss.
Right. Yes.
And so they just try to avoid conflict.
Right.
They don't use their voice. They fall into habits that they know it's not going to go great, but they know how it's going to go, and it's comfortable to know how it's going to go. So sometimes people, we probably have, follow a pattern in, a conversation, to an argument, to a fight, to a resentment, because breaking the cycle is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we have to know that there's repair if we're going to do uncomfortable things.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the same. So the internal family systems reference was, you're going to have blow-ups as a family. Like, people are going to lose their temper. Probably every single person at some point will. And that's bad unless you're able to recalibrate and come back home. And then it's like great. It turns out to be beneficial.
Yeah.
So rupture repair, I think so many parents carry this weight, this guilt of like, oh, like, how it is. We work with parents of, new parents, and we went through it. It's like, you want to do everything perfect and not do anything to mess up your kid. And then you're reading a book, and then you think about how you maybe could have read that sentence differently to make the right kind of impact. They'll grow up to be the right kind of person.
What? Have you thought through this?
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
But I think the weight of feeling like you've messed it up,
Yeah.
The only way to mess it up, like you can't mess it up if you come back home to safety.
You probably can. There are things.
Yeah, okay, true. Yes, that's true.
Please.
But yeah, there are things. But general day to day. So yeah, it's like that's gold. That's gold people don't.
What is gold? Can you reiterate the gold, please?
Yeah, the gold is the fact that we can come back home to safety.
Yeah.
Together, and it makes us better.
Yeah.
It is beneficial in so many ways. We don't have to be afraid of stress. If anything, like maybe be afraid of not being able to find safety after the stress. But not that fear maybe would be helpful in that situation. But I think it does raise the importance of safe spaces, which in our current day are hard to find. And I think they existed a lot more. I could be wrong, but I feel like in a different time, people were closer. They lived closer. They knew their neighbors. They had conversations. Families visited. They were there when things got ugly. Like they helped each other. They supported each other. And I think there were just opportunities for people to slow down, which is an important part of accessing safety for the nervous system. And they were slowed down together. And there were safe spaces that naturally arose.
Yeah. Hey, friend, if you have little ones at home or on the way, you need more than just parenting tips and stroller recommendations. You need support that actually strengthens your relationship, protects your peace, and helps you feel like a team. That's exactly what we do at Postpartum Together. Through coaching, workshops, and VIP couples weekends designed to meet you right where you are. If you're ready to stop just surviving and start building something stronger together, book a free call with us using the link in the show notes. We'll have a real conversation, get to know what's going on behind closed doors, and explore what's possible for you two. Because you deserve a relationship that's not just holding on, but growing deeper, steadier, and more connected than ever. And we can help you get there.
Because of what's coming down the road now with all the cuts and shit. I mean, people are going to be feeling stressed as hell. And I think
It's a key, bummer, man.
I'm actually not bummed. I think how timely to be able to have conversations around this. I think it would be really helpful for a lot of people to be able to, not feel like they're losing their sanity.
One thing I've heard that is challenging to some of the women I've met with this week is they're feeling stretched really thin, feeling like their partner has to be fully be that safe space for them, and they have to fully be that safe space for their partner. And on one hand, yes, you want to fully be a safe space, but also it's taxing on the relationship if your person is your only person.
Yeah. It really is. That's a very big load.
Right.
I mean, it's just one person, but they're also carrying their own. I like that because it was true in our experience.
Yeah.
I know that you basically said, I just had a baby. It's nuts. I can't handle all this other stuff that you've got. I need you to go to therapy or something. Mm-hmm. And that was fantastic. It was very helpful. More than I expected, And that wasn't really, that was like another dimension, a vector, but it wasn't comprehensive. It wasn't enough for sometimes what I'm trying to say is I also then trusted some friends of mine, just that have been around that I trusted. But I took a step, right? And when things were hard, I brought it up, I didn't just stuff it and hide it. And I don't remember much about the conversation, but the fact that I could just get it off my chest was huge.
I remember overhearing a conversation with, someone that had been a friend, like, let's get together. We have dinner every now and then or something. But in our conversations around like a campfire, we'd go deep, but it wasn't like the guys were regularly calling each other up to chat.
Right.
And when you took that step and kind of breached, maybe even, I want to hear from you, but like maybe even some like societal expectations of guys and their friendships, it was so healing for us and me. And I think of that, like I hold that as a really important point in our relationship.
Yeah, hearing that. Yeah, and I can I speak to that? I think
please do.
The societal expectations. Guys, I think, don't typically talk about their feelings. I think because it feels like a sign of weakness, ultimately. But I don't remember, like, the conversation itself. It wasn't one that I was like weeping. I didn't like break down and cry. Right. I actually felt strong. I had it contained. Right. And I went to this person. Now, that's great if you could do it. But there have been times that I was not contained as well. And that's important to have that space. But I think it's, it's a lot for someone that's going to be listening.
Yes.
And there's a term, trauma dumping. It's like you just start getting it out. And in the person on the other end or people on the other end, it's good to check in, And so that's how that conversation started, is like, hey, things have been a little tough. I know you're busy. If you have 10, 20 minutes, I would love to get this off my chest and just hear another perspective. If you don't have that time or emotional or mental capacity, that's totally fine.
Right. That's a great distinction, because we are not encouraging anyone to make their friends their unpaid therapists.
Right.
That's not healthy. Yeah. Please don't do that.
Yeah, that's not that friendship would be strained.
But that, like, asking permission or checking in on capacity.
Right, yeah.
Is something that a friend taught me a few years ago.
Yeah.
And that's, again, one of those things that like changed. It just feels like that impacted a lot of areas of my life when she reached out to me that first time and said, hey, do you have the capacity for me to emotionally unload a little bit?
Yeah.
And that whole idea. Sorry, I just hijacked your story.
No, it's awesome.
I think especially as a woman, like, that you even have the right to say no, or someone is caring and respecting your emotional state, your state of your nervous system. That's so kind.
That is. Yeah, it's considerate.
Oof.
Yeah.
Clarity is kind.
Yeah.
Teaching people how to love you well is kind. It's not bossy. It's not bitchy. It's not whiny. I mean, don't make it whiny.
It's accurate.
Yeah, it's kind. One of my dear friends, Allie, always says, like, clear communication is kind communication. And it's really makes me respect that.
Yeah.
And that.
I like that too. And that's not been the norm in generations past. But I think this, like the last few generations have, like ours and then those after, have had the opportunity to have more education. And I think when you begin to see things a little more clearly, you see the value of being clear. And I think it was probably easy to offend people. And I think the friendships that we have, I think we're really lucky. I don't know that it's that common, although it would be awesome if it were, is that we have that sort of space. where that's okay.
Okay. Clear is kind.
Yes. And your nervous system is just looking to get back to safety. It does it best with another person or people. There are ways to work with it yourself. More and more, I think that there's evidence that really shows how valuable that connection is. Being a lone ranger has some health consequences. Being in community has some health benefits.
That sounds like a slogan for a commune, Mike.
I'm not doing a commune, but maybe a cooperative community. Cooperative community.
Let's plant that seed like a farmer, baby. All right, good night.
Good night.
Did you have any aha moments or helpful reframes that came from this episode? If so, would you take a minute to lift us up and leave a review or a comment on the podcast page? It's hard for me to ask this, but I know it's so helpful for us as we reach more and more families and make the world a better place, starting in our own homes. So again, if something stuck out to you, if you are sending this to your partner so that you can have a conversation, or if there was a helpful tip you're going to employ in your own life, take a moment, leave a review, and let's keep the conversation going.